Steven Rokan, thank you for tuning into Fire Chicken Review, where we talk about custom gaming products for the living card game Legend of the Five Rings, made by Fantasy Flight Games. As you see in front of you, we're doing another review for luxury playstyles. This time we're focusing on Disciples of the Void and special tokens that were specially made for that, and some prototypes that are coming on their way from this company. So stay tuned, just give me 1 second and I'll clear a few things up. Alright, welcome back there. And as you can see, I have a special token for you. You might be saying, wow, that looks like kind of like a phoenix, but it's a little bit dark. I always remember the phoenix looking like this. Well, as I was mentioning, this is Disciples of the Void special phoenix that Luxury Playstyle has been working on. And it looks wonderful. As I get in close here, let me just bring this to you. You'll see just how wonderful it is. And compared to the original, it pops out just ever so slightly more. It's definitely been raised a bit. If you compare the size of the coins, they're still basically the same size, but the reason why the thickness of this one looks a little bit thinner, I believe, and the company can correct me if I'm wrong, it's just because they raised the coin ever so slightly more, so it pops out, where this one on the left is a little bit more flatter. Some aspects that I really love about this coin, if I flip to the honor side, I absolutely love the honor status on this coin over here, this token. It looks great, and that's because of the colors chosen for the palette here. And I really think this red, I'm quoting it as blood red, looks absolutely fantastic. I also like that they went with a slightly different variation of the art itself. As you can see, you have these edges here, giving it a little bit of a different contrast compared to the normal ones that you're expecting. And if you're to compare it again, if you haven't seen my other videos, this is what the normal, if I don't drop it, let me get that again. This is what the cardboard one looks like again. Not the best. This easily, and I mean easily, absolutely replaces this. They are on the luxury side. They are a little bit more expensive. If you go to their website, which I will be linking in the Facebook page, and not the Facebook page, but the YouTube page, as well as my Facebook page and theirs, so that you can get all the links that you need. But you can find out the prices specifically there, because they do offer discounts if you buy in bulk. But that being said, getting back to the coin itself, it's absolutely wonderful. I love the raised edges. I also love that the phoenix itself is slightly, ever so slightly different than the one that originally came out by Luxury Playstyle. Besides the edges being raised, you can tell that there's been some inversing and a few art changes. Just small little things, but you can see the feathers on the bottom, well, the tail feathers are slightly different. You can tell that the feathers on the wings of the phoenix look a little bit different. And of course, they went for the same background almost, but it has the gold in the background, and it's a little bit slightly different again in that aspect. Overall, on this side of the coin, I still prefer the one on the left. I know I just said all these wonderful things about the new Disciple of the Void Phoenix, but I still prefer the Phoenix on the left. I just prefer that gold. I think this one is slightly too dark. When I zoom back away here, you can see that it's a little bit harder to see compared to when I have this one further away. I find it pops out more. I got a lot of light in my room to make sure the coins shine, so you might be thinking it still looks bright to me, but I find it a little bit void of actual light on this, which is just a little bit of a pun there for Disciples of the Void, but it still looks wonderful. On the flip side again, I absolutely love this one's hands down way more than on the honor side of this one. This one actually makes me go out and go, wow, I want to use this as actual honor tokens. Not that I wouldn't use these ones, but it looks a lot more like the actual cardboard that comes in the game, just enlarged, and of course an awesome metal that you get. So those are the Disciple of the Void coins I want to go over. Popping a Tadaka out here again just to show you. Let me get a better zoom in. It looks wonderful, as you would expect for it if it doesn't slide off there. Just trying to show how it looks here. Looks great on it. Again, you can use it as like an honor status or just as a resource, as a fate basically, and you can use it as an honor token otherwise. Moving on to the next thing that we're going to cover, speaking about honor, I wanted to talk about a prototype that is currently in the works by Luxury Playstyle. And to give you full awareness, I have been helping out Luxury Playstyle basically in a playtester group, if you want to look at it in ways, but basically helping out coming up with designs for their Medal Honor status tokens, which I think is already about 85% of the way there. In my view, I think it got the right looks. There is some concerns I have, and I've already mentioned to them. Now remember, this is a prototype, so it is going to change. The big thing to note is that this is soft enamel, and that there's actually going to be using hard, smooth enamel for the finished product. But this is, again, the 85-90% of the version of what it's going to look like. I think this looks wonderful. One of the complaints that I was talking about is actually that if I get in close here, is that I find it's a little bit hard, unless you're looking in very close, to tell what's on the sides here. And before I get into what it actually is, you may see, if I can get the light to work with me, it's actually flowers is what it is. And on the dishonored side, it's that same bush of flowers, but because you've become dishonored, they have become thorn bushes. I think the thorn bushes are a little bit hard to tell, especially when you're further away in the aspect of if it's going to be on the card itself. Again, showing that honored side and the flowers. I would like to see them pop out a little bit more. As far as the honored and dishonored symbology, well, there's no real symbology, but the words themselves, I think they pop out fantastically. I think the black looks great. I think the white looks also great. I think that the gold on here for the honored status looks awesome. It shines amazingly. And another really cool aspect here is that when I do put this on Tadaka here, you can see that easily it fits the card. Doesn't cover too much of the artwork. It's quite big, but I think you're not going to be able to not notice if this character is honored or dishonored. And it has those nice grooves on both sides so that the glory status is easily recognized. I'm going to say, yeah, he's honored. I can tell that he's adding his +2 glory to it. I kind of wish that it was a little bit more asymmetrical where it didn't have these grooves on both sides. I don't really see a need to have it on this side, except for the fact that when you're flipping it, of course, if it didn't have grooves on both sides, you would have to change the orientation of the dishonored and honored side more to a flip, but then it wouldn't work as well. So I guess the grooves on both sides do make it work a little bit better, but I just find that it's kind of unnecessary. Overall, this is already for the prototype. I think this is like an 8 out of 10 for me. Maybe 7.5 as low as I would go, only because, again, for the thorns and the flowers, not as detailed as I would like for a luxury item. But that being said, they're being worked on, and it should pop out just ever so slightly more when the finished product comes out. And speaking about it, one of the things that is already out and will be given away for free with whoever purchases these tokens here is Luxury Playstyle's honored and dishonored, what's the word I'm looking for? Novelty tokens here. And the reason why they're novelty, as you can see when they're in my hand here, these are really just cheap tokens themselves. And when I say cheap, I mean price-wise, you can pick up 20 of these for $12 US. That's insanely cheap. And the reason is that, again, these are novelty products. So one of the things that they've been trying to work on when I talk to them is that they want to try to have a lower price point for people that are looking to get into the tokens but may not have as much funds, but would like to get rid of the paper stock tokens that you get in the game. As you can tell, this takes up 1/6 of the size of this paper token. And what's really interesting here, if I zoom in, well, let me see if it worked. There we go. As you can tell, it's just a paper. That's why you see a little bit of the squishness aspect on that honored side. You don't really see it as much on this side, but it's just paper. And if I was to flip one of these open, give me a second. It's actually 2 magnets on the inside, which is fantastic, because if you want to use the token, you can just place it on the card like so. Just have it normally, so you can say, yeah, he's definitely honored. His glory is adding +2. Or if you want, you can have it like this, so that the magnets keep in place. It's not made for the acrylic cards or double sleeve cards, just to let you know. It's only for if it's normal single sleeve. That'll stick well like that. Or if you want, you can flip it this way, which I'm not as big of a fan. And in fact, I'm not a big fan of this novelty token at all, really. I think it meets its market for the people that are looking for these, because they're really inexpensive. Like, again, 20 of these for 12 US is nothing. That's not too much money at all when you're talking about a collectible game like this, or a living card game, I should say, like L5R currently is. Another aspect is, I kind of wish, and I was talking this with my play group, that the honor status and dishonor stats would work well on the other side instead of being upside down. And I don't want to cover as much art. I know I'm being picky here, but I find that I'd rather it be on this side, because there's usually nothing on this side besides the artwork. I don't want to cover up the glory, and it being above the glory just seems a little bit distasteful, I find. And the problem is that if I have it trying not to cover up the artwork, I cover up all the words here, which you're usually going to need, because you don't want to cover up certain things so that you can tell the traits of your character. So I don't know. That's the novelty item. Again, coming free with when the actual honored dishonored luxury token comes out. And right now you can pick these ones up. Overall, these are about like a 6 out of 10 for me. I think that they do the trick, but they're not the best. And I don't think the company is really notifying it as the luxury aspect. Again, hence the name novelty, honor and dishonored tokens. They do the trick. And for new players, I definitely recommend picking up a few of these. You can pick up a pack of 10 if you want for like $5. Who doesn't want that? All right. Getting away from all this darkness, I want to bring in the sunshine. That's why I brought this lovely play map that I did a review for a couple reviews back, and check that out if you haven't seen it. And as you can see, with this lovely play map, we got the Solemn Scholar. You know what? The Solemn Scholar is wondering what's going to happen with the fate of L5R. And let's take up some coins and find out. Well, these coins are absolutely fantastic. Look at how they shine here. These are amazing. And what these are the Summer Gold Sakura coins. So these represent the fate on one side and representing honor on the other side. Overall, I looked up the prices for this. So currently, if you're looking at getting a play set of 25, they're only 40 US or 50 Canadian. And you gotta remember, these are metal coins. So for $40, these aren't bad at all, or 50 Canadian. That's an awesome price. I 100% recommend that everyone try to pick this up if your budget allows you to. These are now my new favorite tokens. I think these are awesome. If you get a set of 20 to 25, it'll come in this little tray here that I can just put in like so. And it fits quite nicely. As you can see here, you can see the bottom there. Fits quite nicely in this tray here. And it comes out quite smooth, as you saw earlier. And the shine on these things, like these things shine amazingly. Like, basically, the coins right now, if you get them at like just buy one or two, they're $2 each US. It's really not bad. Pick up just one or two and see if you like it, and then pick up a full set. Because I highly recommend, if you ever see me at any of the games, ask to see these because I'll probably have it on me along with my other tokens most of the time. And these look fantastic. Like, compare that to the actual cardboard in the game. I know you're like, compare it to cardboard, the cardboard's gonna look like garbage, right? But these just look absolutely gorgeous. Let me pull one up closely for you, if I can get it to zoom in. The detail work that he's put into this looks fantastic. I really like how the flower looks. I love the raised edges and all the light effect that he's gone on here. I think even though I'm not a pink guy, I think the pink looks really nice here. And then on the other end, I find this feels like summer. It goes well with my mat. And the honor status token, not honor status, but the honor token on the back looks great. And it just works well. Again, let me just move some over here. Just throw, just look, take a second and just throwing on the mat, just all over the place basically. You can tell that these look great. And again, look how the light shines off of these. These are a 10 out of 10 for me. I didn't see these before he came out with them. I didn't know he was making these at all. And if I recall correctly, if you check the Facebook group, I think it was mentioned that these actually sold out initially, and he had to do a second stock of these because people were overwhelmed saying, wow, these look fantastic. And they agreed with me. So these sold out instantly because they're at a better price point that was more affordable for people. And people just thought these are fantastic. So I highly recommend checking these out. Again, it comes in this container here, which I'm actually used to as a coin collector. If you collect like silver or gold coins, these are perfect. Won't tarnish your coins at all. It'll keep them nice and safe. And if you buy quite a few of these, if you buy up to 40, it'll come in this bamboo case. Now, unfortunately for me, I'm not a fan of this case at all. I like the sound when you open it. It sounds fantastic. But to put these in here, it sounds nice, but the case doesn't do it for me. I mean, the other case is just a carrying case, but this is just, it's just too big for me. It takes up too much space. It's unattractive to me. I think that there could have been some design work that could have gone in it, but then it would have not been a free case to put them in, and it would have cost extra money. But it would have been nice if it was etched saying like L5R. I don't like that it's round. I'd rather have been like a rectangle. But you let me know what you think of that yourself. It just feels like a case, really. It doesn't feel anything spectacular, so it doesn't feel luxurious to me. And that's unfortunate. I mean, I gotta say how I feel about these things, but as far as this stuff goes, I would just get it in sets of 2025, or just ask to get these over the bamboo case myself, just because it's not my cup of tea. But let me know. I rather it felt more like a scroll carrying case, and when it came out, it still makes that lovely sound, but it just doesn't do the trick for me. So that's been my review for luxury Playstyles, Disciple of the Void tokens, as well as some of their upcoming tokens that they have on their way. So remember, if you like this review, just hit like, subscribe, check out our Facebook page where we talk about a few other things as well. And I hope you stay tuned. Cheers.